Hi guys, Mookduke here, and today we have an exclusive about Ad Mortem, the upcoming brutal melee slasher from GIRU and the Head-On Studios team. Set in the world of Contrara, you'll play as a vessel in either the Palisadian or Hantry factions across both PvP and co-op modes. The game is currently available to back for alpha access and other sweet rewards on Kickstarter with only a few days left to go. I'm joined by Sil, the game's community manager, to get some early insight into the combat, modes, and direction of the project. Let's jump in. Hello, Sil. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Mook.
And also, congrats on your initial funding goal within 2 days and your latest stretch goal. How you feeling?
Yeah, thanks. I feel good, and the whole team we were so excited when we hit that first mark well, technically it was 33 hours.
Well,
So that really showed us the hype and the trust that the core community has for us, because those people that backed us in those 33 hours, they were core community.
yeah, and I'm definitely feeling a lot of hype around Ad Mortem as well compared to other games. I mean, I'm not going to really bring them up here, but you can tell that Ad Mortem is the one that people have really been wanting to see.
Yeah, we've done a really long project with it, of course. Like 5 years ago, we started dropping hints. We did an awareness phase, which made the whole community that's already there know about us and talk about us. And it's been 5 years of us floating around. So yeah, people are very excited, and there's a lot of expectations.
Has it been 5 years already? That is actually insane. Well, speaking of 5, right, the game, as we know so far, currently focuses on a 5v5 and 10v10 assault mode. Did you like that segue? Bit of a bad segue.
Yeah, cheeky.
or co-op modes. Can you tell us more about how the assault game mode will work and an example of the type of objectives we'll have to complete? Would you say it's something closer to the Chivalry Mord multi-stage map, or closer to LTS but with an objective like Gold Rush or something?
So it's definitely not LTS. I think the attempts at a competitive setting in previous games have shown that LTS is not the most engaging game mode and means, less retention. So our focus on the 5v5 and 10v10 competitive mode, called Assault, is objective based. 10v10 is basically a similar map, just more casual, less ranking pressure. People can mess around a bit more. Think of CSGO, where you play the same maps with more people. And, well, the 5v5, of course, it's objective based. You try to get to the objective, whatever that is, depending on the map, whether that is fastest time, most progress. Every map will be a bit different. And then you switch sides, and then attacking and defending team change, and you got to beat the other score.
So you'd say that a typical match, it looks like most people trying to do objectives and then swapping sides, kind of like, would you compare it to like a melee CS?
Kind of. We want to be the competitive game of the genre, and with that set a staple for many years to come. So yeah, we would definitely compare ourselves to the Valorant and the CSGO of the genre.
No, I quite like that. And what you can't let us in on what some of the objectives might be, or is it too early to say?
No, it's too early to say. We're still greyboxing a lot of the map design and testing what works and what doesn't work. Of course, every map has to be designed from scratch to make it work, to make it balanced. So the type of objectives, well, I'm sure we'll have a card push somewhere. I'm sure we'll have a capture the point
Classic.
somewhere. Of course, because they work. It's a good format. But I can't give you an exact example of one of the maps right now, because everything is still work in progress.
How long would you say the average match is? And is there like a respawn system, or is it round-based like CS, where once you're dead, you're dead?
So an average map time, also we're still not sure because we're still testing what works best. It is with respawns, because melee slasher is a more volatile game, because if it's just one person dying and then you're outclassed, you're outbalanced,
You've had a lot of
especially in this.
rage.
Yeah, and also that, but if two people die, it's not as easy as a shooter where you can still usually pull it off. It's more nuanced. So we have respawn, and it's not going to be a walking simulator that way.
Oh, Thank you. For people who die a lot like me, I salute you. In the other game modes, well, on the Kickstarter anyway, you mentioned that community servers will be available for the other modes, like LTS, Free-for-all, and Team Deathmatch. Ad Mortem going to have any official community servers, or are you guys planning on adding these modes officially down the line?
Right now, our focus is really on our core game modes. So we will have the game modes available for community servers, but it's unlikely that we'll do our own servers to run these modes because we want our main player base to play the PvP.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of nice to have like a flagship mode. And it's kind of unique as well in terms of Melee games we've seen so far, to have kind of a mode which is a bit different. And the objective thing, 5v5, 10v10, sounds great to me. What would you say are the functional differences between the ranked and competitive matchmaking compared to the casual PvP, or if there is any?
Well, it's just the casual 10v10 that would be less pressure for your rank, so you can fool around a bit more. And, just same map, bigger scale, basically.
Okay, cool. And regarding like skill-based matchmaking within that, is there going to be any for casual and for ranked? Does it use like a hidden MMR, or how are there divisions or tiers?
It's likely that it's going to use a soft hidden MMR just to make sure that, we don't have a lot of stomping going on. So it's still a bit like varied. So you don't, have someone with 20 hours playing against someone with 1,000 hours, because that's never fun.
Yeah, it's true. How do you actually balance, this is a bit separate, it's not on my question list, but how do you balance ranks for melee combat? Is it purely based on win-loss or kills and deaths, or?
There is a whole calculation system behind that. We're not sharing that right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. That was more of a me question anyway. Okay, let's talk a bit about the maps. The maps, obviously, in the videos we've seen so far and in the dev blog, look gorgeous. Whoever worked on them, amazing. But are there any plans to destroy them, either through environmental destruction or large-scale interactables, siege equipment? I know it's not really that kind of game, but...
Well, in the trailer, for example, you saw a pillar getting smashed. So there will be some aspects that can be broken. It's not going to be like you can destroy every single wall, but there might be an objective where you have to break a wall to open up a side passage or something like that. We don't know. It can be open to the future.
Okay, and building on that, will players be able to interact with other objects in the environment? Are there deployables or utility items like smoke pots that aren't in your kit necessarily, but are just around the map?
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
Ooh, he's playing very coy, but I like it. Okay, let's go into more of the combat stuff and see if we can get some answers out of you. Obviously, Ad Mortem is embracing drags and excels and swing manipulation in general. Is there a way, I don't really know how to word this one, but that you could explain how you're developing them to be used as skill-based manipulation without them falling into the trap of exploits like mid-air weapon stoppages or pullbacks? Like a Wessex is possible, or is there a way to stop that?
So it's a very big mix of a lot of factors. It's animation, it's timings, it's turn cap. So the way it's set up right now is like in Mordhau, for example, you could do some specific stab drags or overhead drags where the weapon would look like it's almost not moving or it was super slow. We don't have that, so you cannot do that at all. How it's specifically done, it's a mix of a lot of factors just combined to make sure it's visually appealing.
What you're saying is basically no floaty swings, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yep.
And obviously, we finally saw a little bit on the rage as well, which to me sounds really cool and another unique thing. Can you tell us more about the rage mechanic? I know it's generated by successful strikes and parries, but the abilities mentioned in the devlog, are they interchangeable between the classes? And if they're not interchangeable, are there multiple abilities that a class can use? Or are they always the same abilities, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so the rage abilities, they are tied to engaging in combat. So you spawn with 0. You have to fight to build up rage. So that is damaging someone, parrying, killing someone. That's how you build it up. And then you can use that to do the abilities. You have the class abilities, so every class has the same ability for that. And then each weapon has its own ability.
Oh, each weapon has its own ability as well.
Yeah. So let's say you have the Slayer. The Slayer always has its own specific ability. And then let's say the Longsword has a different ability than the Grand Mace.
Oh, wow. Okay. And are those abilities always the same for each weapon, or will each weapon have a different ability that you can choose and assign to that weapon?
Currently, they are all the same per weapon.
Okay, cool. And is it possible to gain more than one rage activation per round? And if it is, how will you stop like really good players just being able to constantly execute them? I know you said they're not like it's not a press to win button.
Rage are utility items, basically, as an example to compare with. They are something that throws in a mix of something else into the combat, but you need to fight in order to earn it. And if you stop fighting, rage will slowly decrease. So you need to use it when you have it. You can't build it up. You have one bar, when you stop fighting, it ticks down again.
I didn't realize it could decrease. Does it also decrease when you get hit as well?
No.
No, okay. Okay, let's talk shields. As we've seen the big shields shown a few times, which also look really cool, will we be able to hold block, or are they still also timed parry?
They're timed parry. There's no health block.
Do they give an increased parry window, or is there a benefit to using them, or is it just purely for the class?
They're part of the class.
Kicks, are they in the game?
We have a bash mechanic instead.
Oh, so there is only bash, no kicks.
The bash mechanic is meant to replace the common kick that the other games have had.
Okay, I thought that was the case because I scoured videos today trying to see if there was a kick anywhere. And the original question was, will kicks cause a flinch or stagger? But now there's no kicks. Do bashes cause you to flinch or stagger?
No, well, they interrupt you, so they count as a hit. So you can use it to punish someone that's trying to drag or trying to feint you.
Okay. And what happens when a player runs out of stamina? Can weapons break? Can you be disarmed?
You'll be stunned.
Stunned. So you'd never drop your weapon?
Yeah, weapons are always stuck in the inventory. They do not drop.
And you personally can't drop the weapons either?
Nope.
Ah, interesting. Okay, that changes some of my my questions further down. But keeping on stamina, do sprinting, running, crouching, do they use stamina at all?
Sprinting doesn't use stamina, but it does interrupt regen. Jumping uses stamina. Crouching just makes you slower.
Okay, good. I was worried that crouching would drain stamina as well. I can't remember which game did that. It might have been Mobius that did that.
Not sure.
But I shouldn't dead name. Right, we know about the Flash Moss gun, which is a rage ability, right?
Yep.
But will there be, and I'm mainly asking this for myself because I can't help it, will there be any throwable weapons? And will we be able to throw any big swords or shields at other players?
Currently, there will be other ranged weapons for those classes. For example, there will be a crossbow, a one-handed crossbow, for example. But for other throwables, we're still debating whether we want to add that into the PvP system, because too much range just disrupts the combat. Right now, the range ability of the red classes, so to say, they are based upon building up rage. So they need to be in the fight in order to use their ability. If you then just have throwable equipped, you get the same issue again that other games have had. We might do this, but we might not. We're still balancing and playing around with that, but it's probably unlikely.
Yeah, and I guess if your weapons are locked to your inventory anyway, it would kind of not make sense to throw them and then have someone not be able to pick them up, or the other way around. Are there any additional perks outside of class abilities and rage, or is everything tied to the class kits? I guess that's similar to what you already answered, but I'm just wondering more in terms of, you know how Mordhau has its own perks. Can you
Yeah.
assign perks to classes, or does every class have its own perks that aren't interchangeable?
Not at the moment, no. And it's unlikely that we'll add perks like that in the future.
So it's more just the rage and weapon abilities, which
Yeah.
I think is probably enough anyway overall.
Our inspiration is a lot from Chivalry 1, and so we draw from that as a basis on a lot of factors.
That makes sense. In the dev blog, when looking at the actual fighting, I couldn't see any team colors or like UI markers. Was that just the video, or how will players distinguish allies from enemies? Is it just faction visuals, or?
Yeah, so all the classes, of course, look different. So after playing a little bit, you will know which class is what faction, but we'll also have freshnel around the characters that you can enable or disable with different team colors. So, for example, your own color is red, the enemy is green, and vice versa.
Okay, so there's still some accessibility for those who get a bit confused.
Yeah.
How does the customization of those characters within the factions work? Is it team locked, same like Chivalry, or more freeform like Mordhau? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, could a Palisadian use a Hantry sword, or are all weapon sets unique?
So no, they are not interchangeable. They are really faction based. So you will not have the ability to have the same armor customization. Now, perhaps classes might share similar weapons. It's unlikely, but maybe one or two weapons will have, similar loadouts in the classes. Perhaps we will share skin stats, but then again, there's a very distinct visual for each of the classes. The Huntry are more scavenged aspects of their armors. It's more banded together quickly in a rush, while the Palisadians, they have skilled workers who've honed their craft for thousands of years. So they're more polished and more neat, so to say.
Yeah, and you could tell that in the video. Like, I could tell them apart, but when I was watching it, I was looking like, are there all their colors or anything? But the player models so far look great. I know it sounds like I've been glazing this whole time, but everything I have seen in that dev vlog is. Did you know I upped my well, how could you know? But I upped my backing today.
Oh, that's nice.
Because the dev vlog, it got me excited. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm pulling the trigger. So anyone listening, I know we're not live, but back the game.
Yeah, of course. Get that alpha.
Yeah. Will you be able to swap class mid-match? Or is it more like team composition? Oh, yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's just like in Chivalry, and I mean, even in other competitive games, not all of them, but some. Yeah, like as an example, games like League of Legends or Dota, yeah, you have a roster of hundreds of heroes.
Yeah.
You have to choose one, but we only have 4 classes, each meant to have a specific role in battle. With only 4 classes to choose from, it's easier to interchange.
Sure. It's just because when I was reading the roles, I thought it might end up like an Overwatch scenario where, say, you need like 2 Sentinels, 1 Partisan, and like 2 Juggernauts or something like that. But you just said we can play anything, which is also really good.
Yeah, but I wouldn't advise a whole team of the same class, because each class has its own
it's going to happen
in the battle. It will happen, but it's gonna likely mean that they lose, because if you all have, everyone is a sentinel, then you all have low health. Yeah, you have range, but if you all have low health, you die to an opponent team who has a more balanced roster.
Do you have a favorite class so far?
I personally like the Partisan and its counterpart Desecrator. They're like comparable to the Vanguards. They're glass cannons, so less health, but big chunky weapons.
Okay, yeah, I like that as well. It's a glass cannon main. Okay, let's move on from the team and customization stuff. I want to ask, you don't have to answer this if you can't. Could you tell us anything about progression? Not necessarily in co-op, but in terms of, is there going to be levels or something, or reasons that you want to level up or keep playing? Are there things to gain?
Yeah, so retention is very important for us, obviously, because we're building a game meant to last for a long time. So we will have various retention systems in the game. Of course, ranked itself is progression, get to a higher rank, become better at the game. But of course, it comes with other things like unlocking skins, unlocking weapon skins, or other little things that you can use to flex. So there is ideas set in there, but that's still something for later in development, so not our current focus.
Okay, so just to clarify now, right now, you're not saying we can unlock skins through progression. It's just an idea that you guys might put in.
Yeah. So right now our main focus is really on further solidifying the combat and working on the game modes.
Sure. And in combat, can you damage your teammates? Is there friendly fire?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, no. I mean, it's a good thing, but it scares me with some of the people I play with.
Then find better teammates.
I know I said it at the beginning, but now that you've, or congratulations anyway, for also hitting your stretch goal. And now
Yeah.
that you've hit the stretch goal for the official SDK, does that mean the toolset will be available from launch?
That is the goal, yes. We hit the mark, so we will do our best to launch with an SDK, but I will be honest, SDKs have a lot of legal things behind it with permissions and other things and legalities. You have to go to Epic and get permission from them. You have to get the licensing agreements from add-ons that you're using in the engine. So there's
So
a
it's
bit more to
due
it.
to assets and plugins and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's more than just making it. There's also a bunch of negotiations behind closed doors, but we'll do our best to get it out on release. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And I think I know the answer to this one, but please, for all of our sakes, tell me there are no horses.
No horses.
Yes. Thank you. This one I have to ask for my fellow Mordhau players, and I guess some Shiv 2 players out there, but I have to ask because I'm part memer, and I feel like a big part of the slasher genre so far is the social, often chaotic roleplay memeing side of things. With Ad Mortem focusing on tighter, smaller scale modes, what's the approach to attracting the players who come for that social, silly, and community-driven experience and just kind of want to vibe?
Yeah. So we will have dual servers. For example, you will be able to join a dual server, and in there you can queue up to ranked. So you'll never just stare at a screen waiting. You can always do something. I mean, you could stare at the screen and wait if you want to, but you can also join the dual yard and warm up and play with friends. So that's the social aspect on official methods. And of course, we'll have the SDK, we'll have community servers. I'm sure if people want to roleplay, they will make a roleplay mode. I'm sure if they want to hang out in their own local dual yard, they'll make their own. So I don't think those factors from the previous games will disappear with us.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what people do, especially if the SDK does come early, because I feel like sometimes when it comes early enough, that's when people are the most creative, thinking, "What can I do?" And then it ends up becoming a staple of things as well. It's cool that you can duel while waiting for to join the game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that was a thing, but that is good. Way better than staring at just a window, like you said. And kind of similar to the RP, and just quick shout out to Monty on your team. Do you have any plans to add an instrument or lute or something to satisfy the bards out there?
Not sure. Maybe down the line we can look at something like that for the co-op or the dual yards. It's unlikely we'll have that in the ranked mode, because imagine accidentally pressing the flute and,
Yeah,
dying.
bad people's theme.
Yeah, but maybe it's not out of the question, but it's definitely not something that will be in ranked itself, though.
Yeah, sorry, I had to ask a couple of silly questions. For those who don't know, just to clarify, Monty was the original, or one of the original developers for the loot mod for Mordhau, which is why I asked that question. Asking for a friend, but mainly speaking for general accessibility, will players have access to a no gore option?
Yeah, we'll have a toggle in there. It's something you still need to add, because some people are squeamish, some countries have bans on blood and such. So yeah, it needs to be there.
Yeah, for the squeams. Sorry, squeams. Okay, and finally, my last question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm itching to see more. And please don't answer with soon, TM. When can we expect Devblog 2?
Well, we don't have a timeline at the moment. The Devblog 2 will go into more about the world and art. At the moment, might still change, but that's a current plan. But at the moment, well, remains to be seen.
Okay, well, we'll definitely look out for it. Thank you again, Sil, for doing this interview. I appreciate you answering some questions and clarifying some things. If you guys haven't checked it out, go look at the Kickstarter for Ad Mortem, join their Discord, get involved in the community, and yeah, take a look at all the devlogs and everything. Anything else you wanna say?
I mean, not really. It's just go check out the Kickstarter, check out our trailers in the dev blog if you haven't seen it yet. And if you want to consider backing, it would mean a lot to us. Alpha access is something that's available. So, if you want to play the game, consider backing and getting access somewhere next year.
Yes, get Ad Mortem, get it. When do you think Alpha will release? Is there a date or just next year in some window?
It's somewhere second part next year.
Nice. And with that, we'll wrap up. A huge thank you to Sil for joining us today and for bearing with me as I stumbled through more than one question. I'm not the most natural interviewer, it seems. It's been great getting a deeper look into Ad Mortem, and if you want more deep dives in the future, please consider hitting that subscribe button and dropping this video a like. Thank you also to everyone for watching and listening. Until next time, take care and keep mooking them dukes.